here from Bridget's Kitchen in Melbourne. We are here today doing the second of our Melbourne, Victoria book launches. You know what book we're launching. We are launching more, and the reason why it's not back to front today, because actually Mahei is behind the camera. Mahei is holding the camera. Hi to Mahei, thank you. Giving him, blowing him kisses. We're launching more in Victoria for the second time this weekend. We have a very intimate class happening, which is super exciting for us, because what that means is that I get lots of one-on-one time with people. So if you came to our class yesterday, it was lovely to meet you all. I hope you had a good time. I hope I've managed to fill your bellies as well. If you're coming to a class today, I can't wait to meet you. It won't be long now. We start in about 1 hour. So before we start, what I thought I would show you guys at home, or wherever you are, maybe you're not at home, but you're just watching on your phone or on your laptop, I thought I'd show you guys a really simple idea, something that you can begin to incorporate into your party season or your Christmas preparations or your holiday preparations, whatever they are. Maybe you've got people coming over for lunch or for dinner, or maybe you're having a cocktail party or whatever it might be. This is a really simple idea, and it's something that I like to do for my book classes. So I like to have something ready for people when they walk in the door, some little nibbles, something to get their, their juices salivating, so to speak, something to get their belly feeling like they're getting a little bit of excitement happening. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make some very healthy grazing platters. And grazing's kind of the cool word at the moment. You know, we don't just do antipasto or antipasti platters anymore. Now we do grazing platters, and that is literally what it is. You go up to the platter with your little plate and you just, slowly graze and have a little pick and a little bit of a nibble on whatever is available. So, of course, you guys know me, my grazing platters are completely healthy. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now, if you've got any questions as we're going along, please let us know. Mahei is behind the camera. He can ask the question to me directly. Let us know where you're joining us from this morning. Like I said, we're in Victoria, in Melbourne, Australia, and it is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Melbourne. We are so looking forward to having all our guests arriving. Because they're coming soon, I better get into the platters. So come on down here, come on down to the bench, and I'll show you some of the little goodies that I've got here. So what I've done, and this is a really big tip when it comes to grazing platters, is what you can see here is I've already begun to chop up the different bits and pieces that we're having on the platters. So I prepared this about an hour ago. So this is already sitting there waiting for me. I'm not chopping and then trying to arrange things on platters as I'm going. Everything is pre-chopped. Massive, massive, massive tip. You could do this a couple of hours in advance of your guests arriving, and I do recommend that up to an hour before your guests arrive, you start to arrange your platters. So chop your bits and pieces. I'll show you what I've got on my little board today. I've got some pineapple. Notice how I have kept the green bit on, because it just kind of looks pretty cool. So I've kept the green on there, and people can just eat around the green. So a bit of pineapple. And the other thing about my chopping is everything is pretty much the same size. So if I've got that size of a triangle, then you will know that we've got another triangle. So everything's about the same size, same thickness. You want everything to be bite-sized, and try and keep everything as evenly cut as possible. And then I've got two types of kiwi fruit today. I've got this, and of course I've got kiwi fruit. No reason why, right? Kiwi fruit, yeah, I know, right? So this is a gold kiwi fruit. I'll show you how we're gonna chop that. That's pretty cool, right? These are like little teeth. But as well as that, I have some good old-fashioned green kiwi fruit, which once again, I've chopped into even-sized pieces. I've kept the brown on because the brown looks cool, and people can very easily eat around that brown. So we've got kiwi fruit in two different types of cuts, and like I said, I'll show you how to make that little teeth cut, which is really cool. I have watermelon here because fruit's always a good one. It's light and it's fresh, and it's also got a lovely texture. So I have watermelon, always have watermelon, especially in summer, it's in season. But you may have noticed that my watermelon's actually in squares. I quite like square watermelon. Once again, everything is kind of that bite-sized piece. We've got strawberries there. I've also just got some cucumber, because cucumber is lovely and fresh. I've got different types of cherry tomatoes that I've just chopped in half. I have a really good quality organic triple cream brie there as well, because you've got to have a bit of cheese. Go ahead, a bit of cheese. I have this is just some corned silverside that I had, a little bit of beef. I have some chicken as well. So this is just a plain chicken that I got sliced at my deli. So I've got some chicken there. And as well as that, I have different types of berries. So we've got raspberries today, which is going to have a great color on our platter. We have blueberries as well, which once again is going to leave that great colour, fresh blueberries. In this little container here, which I pre-made yesterday, are my ginger crunch balls. And you know the ginger crunch balls are in the cookbook. They are in the cookbook. These are literally, there is oats in there, there's coconut, there's some dates, there is some buckwheat which gives it the crunch, and of course there's lovely ginger. So those are my ginger crunch balls, which are going to go on here as well. And the last thing that I have, which kind of brings the platters together, so to speak, is I have my homemade crackers. So these are my 3-ingredient almond crackers. I made these with you guys, I think last week we did a little video on my 3-ingredient almond crackers. I've got those. I also have the most wonderful turmeric and fennel seed crackers, which the recipe, of course, is in the book for those crackers there, which are wonderful. And the other cracker that I have is my seed weed cracker. So these are crackers basically made from seeds, a little bit of almond, everything's gluten-free, everything's sugar-free, everything's dairy-free, except for the cheese. You can add cheese or not, completely up to you. But this recipe here is in my, which book I'm trying to think of it in? It's one of my ebooks. I think it's in my Healthy Treats ebook. Would that sound about right, Mahi? The seaweed crackers?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely the almond crackers are in there as well. So if you've got my Healthy Treat ebooks, you've got those 2 cracker recipes for you guys in there. And of course, this one's in the book, the turmeric crackers. So when it comes to organising your platters, what you'll notice down in front of me is I've actually got 3 different sizes or styles of platters. I have a square one, I have a rectangle, and I have a round. And the other thing I always do when it comes to setting up your platters is things look better when they're at different heights. So for example, I've got this round one, it's just sitting on a couple of pieces of wood. And with this one as well, we could do something like this, which just raises it up. Simple little bowl. And then you've got different heights again. So always think about having things at different heights, because height is really, visually, it's appealing. It looks good. So I'm going to just take that one down. We only need one of those, because now we've got 3 different heights with our platters, which are really nice. I think we had a question. Is that right, Mahi?
Can you eat the kiwi skins?
Can you eat? Yes, you can eat kiwi skin. You absolutely can. And what some people, especially when it comes to the gold one, because what you'll notice about the gold one, it's not furry. You can totally eat the kiwi skin, and as I always say, majority of the nutrients are just under the skin. The furry one does take a bit of getting used to, and that's the green one. So if you want to feed your guests the skin and say, look, eat it, I would just get a little, like a clean scourer, a clean one, unused, and just gently, when the green one's still whole, just go around the edge of the kiwi and you'll take off all the fur. So you can totally do that. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is, how do you do this little cute thing, right? How cute is that? These little teeth of kiwi fruit. And by the way, if you are serving something like that, you want to put in a little skewer, a little bamboo in there, so people can pick that up and eat it, or even if you've got like little tiny teaspoons, little bamboo teaspoons, they look really cute in there. But how do you create this? It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. You want to take yourself up a small knife. That's the smallest knife I have today, with a nice sharp point. Basically, you need a knife with a sharp point. We call it a paring knife or a vegetable knife. It's literally that big, but I didn't bring one with me, so I'm going to very carefully use my big knife, because you want to be gentle. You want to be gentle. But the first thing I want to do, I want to sanitize my hands, because we are picking up this food. This food's going directly into people's mouths, so I would suggest you either sanitize and kill the bacteria, or you use gloves. Just because you think about, there's a lot of fresh fruit and stuff, people are popping that straight into their mouths, make sure your hands are spotless. So we go back to our, smells nice, smells like grapefruit, it's gorgeous. All right, go back to our kiwi fruit and our small sharp knife. Remember, just something with a lovely tip. The reason I'm not using this knife is it doesn't have a tip. I need something with a little tip there. So, taking up our kiwi fruit.
Martina says, good morning from Germany.
Good morning, Martina. It must be very early in the morning for you in Germany. Thank you for joining us. I'm thinking it's middle of the night, early morning for you. So, wow, you're joining us. Wonderful. I wish you were here, and I'd feed you these platters. I wish you were here. So, with our kiwi fruit and our sharp tipped small knife, what you want to do is you want to start to make sort of like teeth-like incisions along the kiwi. You want to make sure that your kiwi is fairly firm. Don't try and do this with a soft one. because it'll just end up having mush. So well, it's mildly firm. I wouldn't let it go any more than this. It's just ripe enough, it's just firm enough, put it that way. And all I'm doing with my rather inappropriate sized knife is I'm making these teeth incisions right along, just along there. You can see that? So then what you want to do is just twist. And as you twist, you get your teeth.
Voila.
Voila! Voila! As they say in France. Voila! Just like that. Easy, right? They make really good fillers. And I'll show you what I mean by fillers in a second. So, back to our platters. We want to start, when it comes to putting food onto the platters, you want to start with your biggest items. And for me, the biggest item that I currently have is watermelon. So I'm just going to start with the watermelon. And this is kind of how I like to do it. I like to sort of chunk it out. So I like to keep colours together. So I'll just go, you know, all a line of that wonderful fresh watermelon. I'll start with that, definitely along there. And I've got 3 platters to work on. So let me do 3 different, oh, I'll go that way actually. Let me do 3, if I can fit 3. 3 different bits of, oh, that's a bit of a small one, so I might actually just put that one there. 3 different lines of watermelon with this one here. I'm going to keep it a little bit different. I'm always going for interesting shapes and textures. That's definitely what helps when it comes to these platters. So the watermelon was the biggest one. That's now done. Let's then go to the second biggest one, and that's our kiwi fruit. Once again, I'm just going to go down in lines with our kiwi and just kind of create this really cool green next to red. Always think about those colors, those wonderful colors. Definitely helps. Let's go on the other side with a light color, which of course would be our pineapple. I'm going to start down that end and then work my way through. I'm always thinking about colors, shapes, textures. That's all you do. Colors, shapes, textures. And you know, the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. You know, your first one, you may go, ah, look, that wasn't quite what I was after. But then you just keep on doing them. And there's such a nice way for you to greet your guests when they walk in the door, is they've got this wonderful platter of food that you have lovingly put together. So you know, that sort of greeting, who doesn't like that sort of a greeting? It's just wonderful. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some vegetables. Once again, I'm going for colour, 100% going for colour. So I've got a bit of cucumber. I've noticed how I've actually taken pretty much all the seeds out, because you want the crunchy cucumber, not the, you know, the seeds can get a bit watery. So I do tend to take the seeds out when I'm doing cucumber for a platter. It just kind of feels nicer, and I personally reckon it tastes nicer as well. When you've gotten rid of the seeds, you've just got these little lovely battens of cucumber that goes on there. Let's now think about maybe adding some meat, and I've got that chicken, remember. So we're just going to add some of the chicken, just down here. And once again, I'm working with the lines. I'm working with the lines, and I'll show you actually. I'll complete one platter, because doing all 3 will take me a little bit of time. So I'll complete one platter. Well, I'll complete 2 actually, because I think I can get 2 done at the same time. And I'll just show you what that kind of looks like as it all comes together. So that's a nice base to work with. Let's now think about adding in our crackers. And our crackers, of course, have really lovely colours as well. So let's do a line here of our turmeric crackers, if we can. The turmeric crackers are cool because they're bright yellow. They definitely do bring a lovely, you know, bit of joy to these platters. They make them quite exciting. And they give it height too, which is nice, because the crackers are all different shapes, because that's the sort of cool thing about these crackers, is they're extremely rustic. Remember, when something's not even, it's rustic. That's how you describe it to people who aren't sure what you've done. You're like, that's my rustic fennel and turmeric cracker. So if those go there, take you off.
That's my excuse.
Yeah, it's rustic, right? Rustic. Absolutely rustic. So those are on. They look fabulous. Let's now think about adding some berries. Once again, we're going for that wonderful colour. Got to have good colour. I'm just going to fill them in here. And these berries are really good. They actually do make really good fillers. So if you've got any gaps on your platter, that's where your berries come in. So I don't start with berries, but I always finish with berries, put it that way. So those can go in there. We've got a bit of space here. Let's fill up the spaces on our pineapple. And just look at the colour already, it's just popping. Oh gosh, that's so cliche. The colour's popping. But it's true. Look at it, it's popping. If people can't realise that that's actually just what's occurred just by adding these fresh raspberries, then, you know, they're silly. It popped. Alright. The next homemade thing, of course, these gorgeous balls of goodness. Gorgeous balls of goodness go on there. Just like that. And then we move on to this one. You can kind of see it all coming together now, right? Coming together really cool. No two platters will ever look the same. You'll create one platter and good luck trying to make it the second time you do it. It's always going to be different. And that's the cool thing about it. No two platters are ever the same. This platter here is going to be different from this platter here. And that is absolutely wonderful. You want it to be different. You don't want things to be all samey same. You want them to be really cool, and but you've got the same. It's got the same personality, but it's still a different person. If that makes any sense. Oh, we don't want to drop those onto the table. Some of that wonderful strawberry. Strawberries are good. They're colourful. Obviously, they taste amazing as well. But they're really good to use on a board because you have that good colour, and they do have a bit of height. I'm using these dual coloured cherries. So I've got the yellow ones, which are my favourite, and then the red cherries that I've just cut in half. Yes, you can use like cherries if you can find cherries, because they are in season here, especially in Australia. Lovely cherry growing regions in Australia, like Young in New South Wales, which Mahe and I spent a bit of time in one cherry growing season, which was amazing. Ate lots and lots of cherries and fell in love with the cherries. The tomatoes are on there, looking pretty good. Let's not forget, I almost did, oh gosh, my goodness, that wonderful bit of cheese. Let's add some cheese. In fact, let's do 2 lines of cheese, because who don't like cheese? Well, I am officially lactose intolerant. I am officially. It does not like me. I love it though, unfortunately. We have issues, me and cheese, because I like it so much and it doesn't love me. So yeah, you got to have a bit of cheese. And there are definitely cheeses that I can handle better than others. And you know, hard cheeses are pretty good for me. I don't mind them at all. But other cheeses, I've just got to be a little bit careful. A little bit careful. All right, we're going to finish off these 2 platters. Once again, I'm going back to my fillers. Remember my lovely fillers, which are our berries. You want to fill in the gaps. And this is where the blueberries come in so handy, and they also look amazing. Because now we've got, oh, let me just move those. There's just too many there. We just need to move them around a bit. They do look really, really nice, and they kind of they fill in those little gaps on the platter, which is really important because you don't want to have gaps. Let's see what we can do here. We can put in some blueberries here as well, filling in the gaps. And blueberries are great. That freshness, right? That absolute freshness. Our little blueberries looking pretty good. You know what? I haven't even put the other types of crackers on there. I want to do them here. That's why I've got 3. Look, because I forgot those. I won't finish this one off. I'm just showing you the fact that I will be using the seed wheat crackers, but I'm going to put them there. And I will be using the almond crackers. It's amazing how much food you need very little food to do these types of styles of platters. You don't need much at all. Like, this is just a piece of pineapple, a piece of watermelon, you know, half a thing of berries, half a thing of blueberries, a handful of crackers, a couple of kiwi fruit, and then what you actually have is you have this wonderfully designed little platter for people to come and enjoy. Look, it's gorgeous. And there isn't actually, you know, it looks like a lot more food than it actually is, which is part of the little tricks that we do, right? Make sure I want to put that one there. Part of the little tricks that we do is you don't have to have a lot of food to make things look fabulous. Look, I haven't even put the silver side down yet, so you can do things like that. This one is, I'm not doing so much lines. I'm kind of doing, you know, areas of food.
Celine saying, "Hi Bridget, I could dive right in."
I know, right? This is the sort of thing, like if I went to a party and someone presented me with this, I would be extremely happy and I would feel right at home right away, because this is right up my alley, the style that I like to eat, which is like, I don't necessarily want to be put in front of a big plate of food, but I love the ability to just nibble, you know, to graze away. So it is really important when you are putting these types of things together, which is what we're doing here. it is really, really important that as well as having this wonderful selection of food, which is what we have here, make sure you also have some little plates, ideally recyclable, some bamboo forks, and some napkins, so people really can go back and forward, and this becomes a grazing expedition as opposed to, and that's why I have little plates, because if you had a big plate, someone would literally come along and just go whoop, and that'll be everything gone. But if you've got little plates, they actually have to keep on coming back for more. And I learnt this quite intently when I was back in New Zealand a couple of years ago, and we fed 600 people. This is the crazy thing about how awesome these platters are. We fed 600 people for lunch, and we gave them platters. We had over 40 meters of platters like this, and it was to an audience that were not familiar with this style of eating. In fact, some of the old aunties and uncles that we kind of negotiated with in order to do this style, they were really concerned that people were not going to be fed enough, because you can't get full on this type of thing. Well, I'll tell you what, we fed 600 people, including the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She was just recently elected at the time. She was brand new into office, Jacinda Ardern. I fed her and her cabinet, and many of my own family as well were there, because it was in our area where I'm from back in New Zealand. Out was called a marae. So back in our marae in New Zealand, we got to feed Jacinda. She was just recently pregnant too, so we wanted to make sure she got healthy food. So we did 40 to 50 meters of tables. So this is a meter, I think, right here. This table here that I'm on is probably just over a meter, and I think we had like 45 to 50 of these tables, just full of these platters of food for 600 people. And that's it. We didn't have anything hot, nothing in a barbecue. Normally in New Zealand you have a hangi, which is your underground oven. Didn't have a hangi, didn't have a boil up for the Kiwis watching, didn't have any steam pudding. Oh gosh, getting hungry thinking about steam pudding. But we literally fed them this, and you know what was crazy? This is some of the older ones that are a little bit more harder to, because they're just used to what they're used to. They were blown away. They were blown away at the style of eating. So yes, you can have it for your guests when they first arrive, but there is nothing stopping you from doing different types of things on your platters. And actually, this is what you serve your guests, because they can just constantly go through and replenish and keep on eating and keep on grazing. You could do things and top up these platters you're going, which is what we do at home. If you ever come to a party at my house, you're going to have this for a start. And then we have the barbecue outside. We've got a little hibachi grill, and we do little Japanese style skewers. Obviously everything's healthy and sugar-free and oil-free. Those then get onto the platter. We have an outdoor pizza oven, and we make gluten-free pizza bases, and we make lovely pizzas, and slowly people are eating constantly, as opposed to stop, have a big meal, feel really heavy, tired, and go home. We have people just eating and hanging around and having a good time and never feeling heavy. So a lot of these recipes, this idea is actually in my my Healthy Christmas ebook that we released a couple weeks ago. If you haven't got your copy of my Healthy Christmas, it is literally called Bridget's Healthy Christmas, and it is 50 recipes. 50 recipes for the festive season and for partying. This style of platter is included with lots of other ideas on what you can put on your platter. This is just a basic, right? This is basic of me in an apartment in Melbourne. You can go all out. There might be things that you want to put on your platter that I don't have on my platter. Please feel free. And I'd love to see some photos too of what you guys have come up with, because it's always interesting to see how everyone designs their platters. So definitely, show me your platters. We should hashtag that, show me your platters. If you haven't got my ebook, Bridget's Healthy Christmas, this is still available. Next Friday, which is the 13th of December, which for me is the most luckiest day of the year, because on the 13th of December we're going to start a series. Me and you are going to start a series called 12 Cooking Days Till Christmas. It's the 12 days of Christmas, but we're going to do it cooking style. So every day from the 13th of December right up to Christmas Eve, I'm going to be doing one Christmas style recipe with you guys, starting next Friday the 13th. Every single day we're going to do one. So it's 13 days in a row. Sorry, 12 days for Christmas. It's 12 days in a row, right up to Christmas Eve. I'm going to show you guys how to make a no-fail pavlova, the best sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free pavlova of your life. I'm going to show you how I make my gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free trifle, including the sponge, how to make the sponge. I'm going to show you guys how to make the perfect Christmas turkey. The perfect Christmas turkey. We're going to do whole barbecued salmon. I'm going to teach you guys how to cook a whole salmon. Wrap it all up and throw it into a barbecue or an oven. We're also going to be doing my favourite gluten-free stuffing. We're going to be doing chocolate chestnut pots as well. Lots of things. I'll teach you how to make my dairy-free custard. We're going to do how to whip my coconut cream, to make whipped coconut cream. All those recipes you can get from the book. I'm going to teach you the techniques. You need the book so that you can have the recipes with the ingredients list and how much of this and that. And I'm going to teach you the perfect technique. So you don't have to worry about it. Oh, but guess what we're starting off with? On the 13th of December, I'll be showing you guys how I make the most amazing dairy-free, sugar-free, gluten-free Christmas cake / pudding. That is the very first recipe we're doing on the Friday. Mahay's excited. It's literally his favourite. He's smiling ear to ear. Going,
I think there's some people watching who have tried it too.
Who've tried it. Some people are watching who actually may have had my Christmas cake / pudding in the last couple of days. The people that are coming today are going to get to try my Christmas cake / pudding. The reason why I say it's a / pudding because you can have it hot as a pudding and you can also have it as a Christmas cake. That's how good it is. So that's starting next Friday, December the 13th, 12 cooking days till Christmas. Until then, enjoy. Show me your platter, hashtag show me your platter, or show us your platter. There's the hashtag, show us your platter, what you've come up with. Would love to see it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I've got to get going. We've got people arriving very, very soon downstairs. We've got to let them up into the apartment. Last cooking / class book launch for Victoria, happening in about half an hour. Yes, we've got one question.
Kerry Neal said she made your Christmas cake / pudding Friday night. It's amazing.
Yes. Kerry, how good is it, right? And how easy is it? It's easy and it's so moist and tender and delicious, and you wouldn't even think there is no added sugar. You wouldn't even think that gluten has been taken out, and you definitely would not think that this is a healthy version. It just tastes like a fabulous Christmas cake. One more question.
Jan Babbitt says it's to die for.
Hi Jan. Jan had my Christmas cake in the Gold Coast last weekend, and look guys, I just suggest if you're into Christmas cake, or even if you're not into Christmas cake, make it and give it to someone who is, because we lurk everywhere. Us Christmas cake lovers are lurking. Even if you don't like it, there are people who like it. This cake is phenomenal. We're going to start with that. We're going to go through 12 days, cooking days till Christmas. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you very soon, probably back in my kitchen in Sydney next time. All right guys, take care. Bye bye.